behind us, guys, we have got an AUSDM vehicle and we have got a JDM vehicle. We're doing a comparison today on these two sedans because on paper at least, they're actually quite similar because they're both 4 doors, they're both straight 6 turbos, they're both rear wheel drive, and they actually both cost roughly the same money here now, around 30 grand. So today in this video, guys, we're gonna be seeing the differences. We're gonna be taking these cars on the road, we're gonna be launching them, and we're gonna be finding out which one is best for you. Now let's just quickly cover the engines because this has got the turbo Barra. It's a legend down here in Australia. It's a 4-liter straight 6 turbo, and this one has pretty much every bolt-on I've put on it. So it's my own car. It makes 485 horsepower, and yeah, it's torquey as hell. The Skyline has got the RB25, so it is only a 2.5 liter, so it's quite down on liters, but it's still the straight 6 turbo. And this thing has been modified as well to now be pushing around 350 horsepower to the wheels. So it's down a little bit, but let's remember the actual weight of these cars because this is under 1,400 kilos. This is under 1,800 kilos. So this is a much significantly heavier car. But let's close these bonnets, let's turn them on, and let's jump in the F6 first. All right, guys, so in my very own F6, so this again is my car, it's my personal car. I've been building this car for the last couple of years here on the channel. If you want to see some more of the in-depth breakdown of it, there is a video. You can click the pop-up banner right here. But this thing, again, it's making a little under 500 wheel horsepower. It's got the 6-speed ZF. This is a 2006 F6 Typhoon. It's got the 4-liter Barra turbo up front, which again is very similar to an XR6 turbo engine. It's the same. This is essentially just a hotted up one from factory, and I've even hotted it up even more. So this is a really interesting test because, you know, both of these cars, again, you know, straight 6 turbos, rear wheel drive, yeah, just comfortable, practical, but still a lot of fun. You can still take these things to the track. You can still open these things up when you take them to Habibi. So, you know what I mean? It's cars like this where I guess the more mature buyer can still have practicality in the back. I've got my kids in here all the time, but you can still have that fun on the back road too. Yeah, it's good. You know, look, these have got pretty weighted steering as well. I've got BC Racing coilovers in this. It came with Brembo brakes. So, you know, you've got the stopping potential, which you need because this thing is heavy. But I wouldn't say it is a very nimble car. Like, it's very much a straight line, muscle, AUSDM car. But the fact is still, you can take it down a windy mountain road like we're on today, and it's a lot of fun. In the corners, you definitely got to watch how fast you're bringing in. You got a lot of mass, you got a lot of momentum, but man, it's coming out of the corner on a nice straight. You punch it, and the torque is unreal. It's really unreal. It's so much fun, and yeah, I'm a Barra boy, you know, Barra the world. I absolutely love these things, and yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful car, and Australia should be so proud. They engineered, designed, built this thing here in Australia, and it's got the reputation that it does. You know, this is a world famous car that it's only slowly now becoming famous around the globe, but this is a legend down under here in Australia, and it deserves every single bit of that. It absolutely does. It's got basically everything you need. Yeah, the quality inside isn't that great. You know, it's cheap plastic. You know, my steering wheel's falling apart. I have booked it in to finally get retrimmed, so I don't want to hear it in the comments. These seats are not bucket seats, but they're sporty seats, and they're comfortable. So we pass some bikers. Yo, I did a bit of a backfire there, man. Jesus. I haven't given the old girl much of a thrashing lately, so yeah, maybe I'm getting some cobwebs out of the system, but a little bit of a backfire there. guys, again, if you've been enjoying this video so far, you enjoy this type of content, make sure you subscribe. We are just about to hit 60,000 followers on YouTube, and guys, we're going for 100K. So we want to get that 100K. Come on, we're getting much closer finally. So yes, if you can subscribe, do us a huge solid, really helps us out. And thank you guys. I have actually done a comparison with an F6 versus a GT. If you guys want to see that video, I'll leave a link for it right here. Click the pop-up banner. That was done a couple of years ago, and I still feel like all of it is true what I said. So go watch that video if you want to. 0 to 100, guys. We are going to attempt it. I've turned traction control off. And we lost traction. Got traction control on. Here we go. Yes, lad. Man, I was still having traction control. Come on. It was still cutting me off, guys. It was still cutting me off. I'm not sure about the degrees. We might have been going downhill a bit. The road here is so challenging to find a flat section. So, yeah, let's have a look. Yes, lad. I'll take it. Look, anywhere in between minus, plus or minus 5 on a road like this, I'm going to take it. So that was minus 4 degrees. But we got a 4.9, and we were having traction control cut us off through that. So yeah, I'm happy, man. This thing is quick for the size of vehicle. It's from 2006, guys, and this thing weighs a little under 1,800 kilos. So, and rear wheel drive only, and it's only got 245s at the back. So they're not big rubber, but yeah, it struggles for grip, but man, it can do a solid time, this thing. It's fast. Yeah, this is a lot of fun. I love this car. It's my car. You guys have probably seen this. It's quick, it's fun, it's very fast. It's just a great all-around package. But let's try this Skyline, because it's only a 2.5 liter, but it's only like 350-ish horsepower, but I've got a feeling it's going to be incredibly fun and incredibly engaging. More so, probably, than this. So, let's find out. Alright, guys, now in the Skyline here. And RB25, so it's 2.5 liter now instead of a 4 liter Barra. But this thing, screamer, like, just the exhaust is just phenomenal, and manual. So there's more engagement here already just in terms of that combo. But again, it's rear wheel drive, it's a 4-door sedan, and it's a straight 6 turbos. But yeah, you guys you can feel it already that it feels more hardcore than the F6. It's obviously been modified as well. We've got coilovers in this, we've got aftermarket wheels too, but it's got that more rawness to it. Being a manual, especially with a gate, and just feeling a lot lighter here. It's got a little bit more sports car-ness to it. And the gate is addictive, man. It's a very playful, fun car here. Like, it's not slow. And again, for 350 horsepower roughly here at the wheels versus, the F6 is just under 500. I can feel there's a difference in terms of torque. The F6 is obviously a lot torquier, but this has just got that top end playfulness. Like, it might not be as technically quick, but it feels alive, this thing, especially with that gate, just opens everything up, makes it a lot freer. And yeah, it's skiddy. This the back end will just light up in this thing, you know. I would say actually a lot easier than the F6. So it's it kind of goes 0 to 100 just, you know, real quick, where you have a little bit more torque slash stuff to play with in the F6, so you can control it a little bit more, where this, it's just kind of all or nothing. If you really wanted a Skyline, but you need some practicality, right, this is it. This is awesome. But if you wanted something like the F6, it's like you need a family car, you want something that's practical, but then you also want to have, you know, something that's just monstrous on the freeway. That is also an option. They're very different. This feels more track. This feels more light, nimble sports car in the corners, rowing gears. The F6, very much more, we like to go cruising. We want to just, you know, no one's passing us on the freeway, that type of a drive. So, yeah. So they're very similar in their platform, yet they drive very, very differently. Yeah, this feels like essentially just a Skyline, which it is, but it's pure JDM sports car. That is what this is. The F6, it's a family car that has been hotted up, and it's not going to take the corners like this will. But at the same time, you know, on the right stretch of road on the freeway, there is just not a lot that's keeping up with the F6. This is not. It's only a 2.5 liter, but man, it still goes. Like, absolutely goes, this thing. And yeah, this just feels like there's no weight up front. It loves it, man. It absolutely loves it. This thing, yeah. I would love to have both of these cars in my garage, because honestly, they are so different. They're very, very different. Man, the F6 is all torque. It's all about the mid-range torque, like 3.5 onwards. This is all about top end and just rowing gears on the limit. But they're both so fun. They're both so different. The exhaust at the back sounds phenomenal. And yeah, you just feel like you can take the corner so much better in this. And it's so responsive. The engine feels much more lively, this one. You know, the F6 has so much torque, so it takes a long time actually to get to the top of the gear. This, it seems to have a shorter rev range, and it just wants to get to the top so quickly that you're really going through the gears a lot more, which is more engaging. It is more fun. It's not as technically quick, I think, but it's more driver. Like, it's a more driver-focused car, I think this is. The F6, it's a more freeway, like, drag car. Yeah, it's a more muscle car in that aspect. This is still JDM sports car. At the end of the day, this thing looks really good. I'm not a fan typically of four-door Skylines, but I have to give credit. This one looks nice. I think it's due to the paint color. I like the paint color of this, and it is a Series 2. And the interior is just really clean on this car. It's basic, it's clean, it's old school, but that's why I like it here. And the mods are good, you know, the screamer pipe, the exhaust, the wheels, the coilovers, it's all good here. It all works. And for a street car, at the end of the day, it is so much fun. Yeah, this thing is wild, and it's very light, playful. This thing feels nimble, actually. I could even call this car nimble. This feels very much like it wants to be played with. It wants to be thrown into the corners. You know, very drift car, like, you know, likes to kick this thing out sideways and it'll be in its happy place. So it's got that more in-your-face engagement, which is JDM. Very different cars, but still both so fun. It's great as well to see the differences between the JDM engineers and the Australian engineers. You know, there's a massive disparity, even though they've essentially got the same principles. So it's interesting to see these cars back to back. So we've driven both of these cars now. What do we think? Well, the biggest difference to take away, I feel like, is the mid-range torque in the F6. So 3,000, 4,500, it's monstrous. The R33, you gotta really use it. You gotta take this thing to redline. It's a sports car. The connective steering, it's nimble, it's light. It feels like a JDM sports car. This thing, it's a big lounge chair that will rip your face off. You know, from a roll, not much is keeping up with this thing. So those are the two cars, guys. You got to make your own choice. Which one would you take? Leave a comment down below. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe, hit the like button. We'll see you on the next one.
Boom.
Maybe something like that, was it?
We fucking just ran out of battery. Right at the end, boom.
Sick.
That was a good one. Yeah, no, you did that well.